125. I was on a mighty...
Hi guys, and welcome back to SwitchUp. Thanks so much to the developer for the review copy. Doesn't really feel like 18 years since the original Red faction released, but there it is. It changed the game in one big way when it launched. You had the freedom to destroy and morph the terrain. I think it was called the Geomod engine, and it was unlike anything we'd seen before. Guerrilla is the next game to receive some THQ Nintendo Switch love, and boy have the developers that ported this one put the effort in with everything from motion controls to high performance modes. This could be a real treat. Time to dust off your sledgehammer and recall totally why Alec Mason is one underrated badass. Let's find out. The story of Alec Mason, the mining engineer, begins with him travelling to Mars' Tharsis region in the year 2128 to reunite with his brother Dan. His intention is to begin a new peaceful chapter of his life, but I'm guessing it will come as no surprise whatsoever to learn that doesn't happen. Instead, a revenge-fueled battle against the controlling government-cum dictatorship, the Earth Defense Force, EDF for short, ensues, and what follows is a bombastic revolution that would make Arnie proud to be on this version of Mars. You take control of Alec early on for a few introductory missions, where you'll learn the value of scrap, which is gathered by, well, blowing stuff up.
We're wiping out towns. Alec, we need help.
Hey, you got me into enough trouble Earthside. Just want to do honest work here.
Controlling him is a doddle. The left stick moves him while he can duck behind cover, crouch, sprint endlessly and jump. I like that the weapon wheel can be set for your two most used ones, allowing a quick tap to switch. I lost count of how many times I needed to use this as I ran out of ammo with one gun and could quickly switch to my hammer and get up close and personal. The cover mechanics work well bar one unusual control aspect. When you gain new abilities such as the stealth field, this is activated by tapping L, and I'm sure you can guess what tapping L is also used for: ducking into cover. Contrary to what you think, it didn't mean I was constantly going into cover without meaning to. I would go invisible instead. I'm sure you can tweak this with several control options, but it's strange nonetheless. The next area of control I was delighted to see are Gyro Controls. I tend to set these to the absolute lowest in shooters and then use the small amounts of gyro for precision aiming, and it works flawlessly here. They've also added toggles to allow motion in vehicles, turrets and on foot if you so choose, or any combination of the above. The shooting itself is really rather good, surprisingly so. I never got around to playing this back in the day. It was a purchase and then it just didn't get played. Something to do with Oblivion, I'm not sure. Regardless, the whole movement and combat feel excellent, and I soon found a strategy I like to call go invisible and hit everyone with a hammer. It works. The previously mentioned scrap you gain from all this wanton destruction can be used at safe houses to level up various aspects of your gear, jetpack and armor. It is a great mechanic for making destructibility a core and compelling part of the game, rather than simply a tacked on, oh, this is cool, addition. To further bolster the desire to cause carnage as you unlock new regions of the vast map, you'll also see these blue targets. These are high value EDF structures, and destroying them will reduce their influence in the current territory shown here. Once they're all gone, you'll unlock the region liberation mission, which does what it says on the tin. This game certainly has the GTA feeling of just going off the beaten path to hijack some cars and cause havoc. This little light over here will let you know how much trouble you're getting into, and the AI gives chase like few others I've seen. They will just keep on coming until you lose that wanted level. It did annoy me that regardless of hiding behind a wall, they knew exactly where I was. This is where the game shows its age a touch. As soon as stealthed, they just kind of forgot I existed for a few moments, and then boop, up you pop and they instantly know where you are again. A little bit annoying for sure. The main story missions are shown in yellow, and they also included a fair bit of structural destabilization, blowing stuff up, but thankfully there is quite a bit of variety here as well. In one memorable mission, I found myself kidnapping a high-level general, while my passenger tortured the information I needed from him, all the while trying to evade attack fighters from the sky. While there were some moments where you could have been in a blockbuster film, I'm convinced the game series Just Cause must have taken some early inspiration from Volition's work here, and the unscripted nature of much of it means that there is the ever-present risk of being squashed by a falling piece of debris or some other insanely thrilling moment just popping up, like borrowing a mech. charging through a wall and then flipping a tank. That's gonna do it. As you begin to liberate Mars, you'll find that your actions have both positive and negative impact on the region. If you destroy those key targets I mentioned, then the area's morale will begin to climb. People will recognize you, no longer annoyed by your cavalier borrowing of their new vehicle, and instead cheering you on. In addition to this, the mechanic means that you may find yourself in a tough fight, only for this band of brothers to take up arms and fight alongside you. This feels fantastic, and there are times in the game where large-scale battles between yourself and two other factions are taking place, all against all. I have a real soft spot when games have their AI fight against each other as well as yourself, and it is actually playing out fairly and in real time. I haven't seen that done this well in a long time, and well, this has been a long time since this was released. Red Faction Guerrilla makes you feel very powerful. In many ways, this could almost be a superhero game, as you leap, hammer in the air, and smash through walls, ragdoll across the road after a hit and run, only to just claw enough time for your regenerating health to return, and then attach a sticky mine to the hapless assailant. If I had to review the gameplay in one word, it would be fun. Absolute bloody fun. Little additions like the statistics screen that show you exactly how many million credits worth of damage you've done, or a dedicated destroy everything mode highlight this, but it's really just how well the controls facilitate this. For me at least, making Red Faction Guerrilla stand out even now. The game is a veritable feast for action fans, and there's enough side content to keep most busy, including some completely undocumented treasure hunts. At the time of writing, the online modes aren't currently online, but I can only see this adding more to the experience. I'm really impressed. Gameplay scores 17 out of 20. Despite some dated AI at times, the experience is heaps of fun, but overall it's a very enjoyable ride. Controls score 18 out of 20. They're excellent for the most part and have the gyro to boot. There are a couple of silly choices, such as the previously mentioned L tap for both your special and going into cover, but other than that, they are excellent on the Switch. First things first, you can select performance mode, which will hover between 30 and 60 frames per second consistently and provides a very smooth experience bar a couple of minor dips in intense sequences. Quality mode seems to lock out at about 30 frames per second, with a few dips when the entire screen is filled with explosions. I didn't notice a huge quality difference between the two if I'm honest. See what you think.
Give me time to reach Oasis.
Regardless, I am very impressed with the game world and how it looks on the Switch, with real-time dynamic lighting and shadows of a decent resolution, casting realistically over the environment, and the day-night cycle taking full advantage of this, all running at an almost 60 frames per second. I'm a little bit surprised to say the least. Even when causing some major havoc, performance, albeit in performance mode, is really tight. Handheld is equally impressive, with resolution still being good enough for crisp visuals. The game doesn't look old, and despite the rather drab world of Mars being expectedly devoid of an overabundance of colour, it looks as you would expect, and the different regions give it enough variety to feel like a real terraformed planet that could, one day, become a reality. The orchestral score is nothing short of stunning, to the point where my wife and I just let the main screen stay on while we listen to some of the music. Composed by Timothy Michael Wynn and Jake Kaufman, God bless you Wikipedia, with further composers contributing to create what is by far one of the most impressive soundtracks I've heard in a while. With the 32-track soundtrack available if you're as taken as I've been. Weapon sounds and the screams of enemies as you hit them Thor's hammer style are on point, but not amazing. Visuals score 18 out of 20, while that beautiful audio scores 19 out of 20. I'm only docking a point for the ever so slightly weaker sound effects than the musical score. The game costs £26.99, $29.99 or €29.99. It's always tough to judge value with some of these ports because yes, if you go to Amazon right now and look for this on PS4, you're going to find it for almost half price. And yes, this is going to affect the score. It has to some degree. You're getting the expansion expansions that came with that version, the multiplayer online, Wrecking Crew mode, and the prequel story missions, which is good. There is a ton to do, and as we've seen with some other Switch ports, the Switch tax is real. Having said that, I'm not going to knock too many points for that, because the effort has clearly gone into the Switch version. It's evident from the moment you fire up the game. They've done everything we'd ask, from gyro to expanded content and online modes. I even think I saw a sound option for voice chat somewhere. Whether that refers to character speech or voice chat online remains to be seen. Value scores 15 out of 20.
2125, I was on a mining colony.
I had a blast playing Red Faction again and have been genuinely surprised by how well it's held up. Granted, this remaster has made the visuals more appealing, but the core mechanics are decent as well. I would definitely buy this knowing what it plays like now, and I really hope the online works well. Overall, it scores a SwitchUp score of 87%. I'm really surprised how high this game has scored, but it's held up excellently and is one more open world experience that you can really sit back and enjoy. I loved playing this one in handheld. Thanks so much to all of you subscribers and to our patrons who support us every single month on the channel. We will be giving away our next free game in the next video, so make sure you're subscribed. For all things Switch all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!